Hello, I'm Karen, and this is part 2 of making our royal Christmas tree cozies. In this video, I'm showing you how to make the smaller leaves. I have done a different video for you to be able to make the bigger pieces, and I will share that. I'll put the link to that as well in my description box. so what we're going to do, so I've said before, I'm using 4mm crochet hook, I'm using paint box yarns. So this is the base of the tree and we want it to turn into this, yeah? Okay, so I'm going to begin with a twist on my hook, and we need to make a chain of 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I know I said before, this is very dark yarn, so you might not be able to see properly, so I'm hoping that you can. So you're going to go into the first chain, you're going to do yarning over, pulling through, and it's a slip stitch or a single crochet if you're in the UK. The next chain, we're going to then do yarn over, pull through, yarn over. So we've got 2 on the hook, so that is a double crochet if you're in the UK, but it's a single crochet if you're in the US. Next stitch up is yarn over, go into the chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So that's a half double if you're in the US, a half treble if you're in the UK. Next stitch up is yarn over, go into your stitch, yarn over, pull through. You've got your 3 stitches, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's a treble crochet stitch if you're in the UK, and it's a double crochet stitch if you're in the US. And the final stitch we're going to do is, so we're yarning over twice, we're going to go into the actual stitch, chain, sorry, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 stitches, chain loops, so yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a treble crochet if you're in the US, but it's a double treble if you're in the UK. All right, but there is an easier method for this. So if we do chain 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is how you need to make them, by the way. They're like mini bunting things. So if you put your hook into your stitch, yarn over, so I'm going to count the yarn times I yarn over, right? So that's just a yarn over once, pulling through, that's 1 stitch. The next one I go 1, yarn over, 2. The next stitch up I go yarn over, into my work, yarn over a second time, that's 2, yarning over 3 times. Next stitch, yarn over, go into my stitch, yarn over, that's 2, yarn over, pull through, that's 3, yarn over, pull through, that's the 4th stitch, yarn over twice, go into my work, yarn over, that's 3, yarn over, pull through 2, that's 4. Now realistically the 5th stitch, if you're going up 5th height, you pull through all 3, but we're yarning over through 2, which makes the 5th, and so this one is actually the 6th stitch out of the set of 8. And what you need to do is just keep doing that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you just keep repeating it. So what you're going to do is the easiest way to do this is to do them make pairs of them, okay? So I'm just going to finish this one, and then I think I just did the wrong stitch there now because I'm talking to you. Yarn over. That's the 4th stitch up, and my last stitch is actually stitch number 6 out of the set. 1, 2. Right, okay, so you make yourself little bits of bunting, okay? I've already made some, but just to make this video quicker and easier to show you what to do. So you, like I said, you make them in pairs. So if you're going to be doing the bigger tree, it's got 14, like I said before, so if I'll get the top, so there's 14 stitches, so you make 2 pairs with 14 bunting pieces or 14 leaves on it. If you're going to do this size tree, this one's got 11, yeah, so I said to you it has 11, so the very bottom row, and you start off, you work from the bottom row up, so you do your biggest, so this one would go 40, this is the 11 one, so this is 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, and you'd work like that until you get to the very top. So I'll put some instructions in the description box to make life easier. Okay, I'm showing you what to do and how to do it. So I've made my 2 sets, these have both got 8 pieces on them. And also, top tip for this one, your tail end that you end with, at the end of your row, make sure that's at least twice the length of your work, because you'll need, make sure you've just got enough tail end to sew in. The other tail end obviously is going to be for just tying up at the ends. Right, so on the actual tree, so, oh, I'm just going to pause the video. Hang on a minute, I'm going to fetch something. Okay, I'm back. I've been and fetched the sheep. So this is nettle and this is honeysuckle. The reason why I brought the sheep is to help later on, okay? So when you do the bigger trees, these are the perfect size to stuff inside the actual base of it and to the top to help it, so you've got something sturdy. Because you've got your double layers, you can't go through and accidentally sew your sheep. But the little one, we don't really need anything inside it. But the way that you're going to add your stitches, it's the same for every single one of the trees. So you're going to find, I'm going to just, it doesn't matter where you start. So what you do, I'm trying to show you close, you're going to go underneath the post. So you go underneath 2 posts, yeah? And then what you do is, so the middle bit of the bunting where you've done the join, can we see, you can put that there, this section, you're going to put your needle in there, if I can get this right. And then you pull that obviously all the way through, and you keep that's your first section into place. Now you want to pull it back a little bit, so you keep an eye on it as you go. And as you get higher, there's more leaves in the way, so it gets a bit more fiddly, but you can move them. Look for your tail end where you've come out, because once you've gone through there, you want to go back into the same place. Then you're going to go underneath 2 stitches and pick up your next piece. And yes, this scrunches up your leaves and also makes everything look nice. But be careful as well, because your tail end gets wrapped around your leaves. And so you're going to go into the same space where you've worked already, come out, and obviously that's pulled down there. Make sure you're going to the next bit of your leaf, or bunting as it really is. So I say, yeah, so on my, I have already done a video where I've called it the 8 stitch bunting. So you've got all 8 stitches. So we're going to go into there underneath 2 posts. And on that 8 stitch bunting, that is where I used it obviously for other things, but that's the one from Queen Elizabeth I's pattern. This bunting is actually from King Charles's pattern, that when I played the game with King Charles. So as I was playing the game, just so that you understand this, so what I had to do was, like, I'd play a game, so it's like you find the clues to find a crochet pattern. Oftentimes there was clues with inside clues, and also the pattern that you ended up making, like in this scenario, was a clue. And so to help you understand where I was at this stage when I was actually doing this one, so I've been decoding and translating the Voynich manuscript. I'd found games inside there. I'd written to the king, had asked him about it. I didn't get a direct response, as in like a letter, but I noticed that he'd left some clues in his speech. And so this one is actually from the Monday, Thursday speech. Right, so at the minute I've got to the end. I'm going to pull this off. I'm not going to actually tie this bit up yet. Okay, that bit you do afterwards. I'm hoping I've got enough time for all of this. Right, so I'm going to thread on my next piece of work. This just helps you so you can see where did you finish. You want to go back in that same space. You go underneath 2 stitches, go into there, and just keep doing the same thing. So yeah, so I'd found, so this was from the Monday speech, and obviously the clues that I got from this one is a tree and some sheep. So because obviously I'd been that involved in the game, I understood the clue, but some of you watching this might like, how is a tree, a Christmas tree, and a sheep a clue to something else? Well, so previously, before I did the Monday, Thursday patterns, I'd done the ones at Christmas time from his speech, from the Christmas 2023, from, I think he calls it a broadcast. And I'd got the clues from there, and those made all things to do with Easter. So it was like I'd got Easter things at Christmas time and Christmas things at Easter time, which made me then realise there was another speech, because the king became king in 2022 when Queen Elizabeth II passed away on the 8th of September. So the King actually did a speech for that particular Christmas in December 2022, and that is where so this, inside that speech, he says, it was on about the shepherds being lucky that day for the angels coming down. Right, so I've got to the very end here. I'm going to do my last stitch. And then I'm going to just join this one. So the bit I'm sewing with, I'm going to join it to the first piece of bunting that I started. Just go underneath the little strand, join it, pull everything tight and tie it in a knot. But yeah, so and now this is a top tip for you. So the tail end that you've already got, you make sure that the bar of the needle is up, the tail end's pointing towards you. Get your next strand and then thread it through, and they'll both be facing in the same direction then if you just to tuck these tail ends in. And then you tuck your tail ends in by going into the work. So you're going in between, so you're not going all the way through, you're going in between the two sections that we've already made. But yeah, so skipping back anyway, so yeah, so I went back to 2022 because it's like time traveling, this is, and and got the speech from there, and that's where I found the granny squares, another granny square pattern. So there's lots and lots of granny square patterns in this all the way throughout all of my research. Granny squares is like the main thing. So I'm going back to the beginning section that I did, picking up the tail end that I didn't finish off. And now I've got my next piece into place. I can join that the same way by just coming under a couple of strands just to tie this up. Whoops, I don't want to go in. There we go. And pull my tail in through. Make sure everything's pulled tight. Tie my knots so that we've got it all nice and snug into place. There. And there. And do exactly the same thing. So you make sure the bar of my needle is to the top. And then get the next strand and thread that through, and I've got both of my strands to be able to sew my tail ends in nice and neatly. Yeah, so and obviously after I'd found those squares, I realised my whole point of everything, which is why, so the one that's the Christmas tree, I'm going to show you again, the one that's got the face on it, let's just cut that off there. So you can see how you start to actually layer your tree. Yeah, and you just sew the next row up because there's only 7, remember, so it's got 7, 6, 5, 4. And you just need to make 2 pairs each time. So I'm going to put instructions in the description box for this one. But that's how it starts to work. You can see, obviously, the joining of this one is neater because this was one I went to show you on the other video. You could see it stood out. That was it's all right, but it still stood out as a join. So that's why I changed it for this particular one. But yes, this is where I found the squares, and as you can see, the square fits perfectly inside this. And I did say to start off with, think it was just a toilet roll cozy, but then I realised it was a clue because on the other ones I was doing, I had to make baskets, and it was how many things could I get in the basket. And so that one led me on another journey, which I will share some other bits and bobs with you, but I just really wanted you to be able to have a go at making these trees because I just love them. I did think that I was going to end up with a little forest by the time I'd finished. However, education-wise, if I wanted a forest, I'd got to have something that's got big canopy. So a forest is, 60 to 100% coverage with a canopy. And a wood has only got 20 to 60% worth of coverage. And obviously conifer trees are not very wide, so they're not going to cover up a lot of the ground. But the conifer tree is also the tree that's used for making paper with, which was the irony of it, of having a toilet roll inside it. And also it's one of the oldest trees ever. So this is one of the ones that survived the apocalypse that killed all of the dinosaurs. So, and the cone itself, that is also another potential clue, which I will explain to you later. But right for now, I just want to say thank you for watching, thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. So this is the size of the tree. This is the one of the originals that I did, and this has got so we ended up with 11 stitches across the bottom, for each side. So that was the month. There was 14 rows for there. So I've got 14th of the 11th, make a total of 48 stitches. So I've got 14th of the 11th, 48, which is King Charles's birthday, and And I just think as well, it's like, obviously it's one of those things to me, it makes you think about the environment and everything when you're actually crocheting trees. But there you go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Bye for now.